So. That was a bummer. I was so excited. The first half went so great, and then we blew another big lead. This time it was a 22-point lead. And let's talk about the end of the game first, then we'll cover everything else. As you could see, Steph Curry was gassed at the end of the game to me. And he's been over dribbling the whole season. The roster is lacking some type of shot creation of its own. And we have the shot creation talent in Steph, and for other teams they have way more shot creators. We have Steph, and that's somehow it. Maybe Podziemski could be another shot creator down the stretch, but not right now, right? Right now he's not a shot creator yet, or at least a consistent one or a reliable one, because he's just not played enough simply, right? And while the Clippers, of course, have Kawhi, Paul George, Harden, and they can make and create some really great shots, while we have Steph getting doubled at the half court, and when he's not, he's over dribbling and over forcing this year to me. And let's talk about Podziemski. He played once again a lot of minutes. For how many minutes did he play? 36 minutes. He played the second most minutes in this game, which I think is a little too much. I like what he's doing. He's bringing so much nuance, energy. He does so many little things well, right? He boxes out really well. He rebounds really well. He, defense actually really well for his size and build. So you get why he's out there, and he's a really solid shooter, but 36 minutes might be a little too much. Well, Kuminga has played really well against these Clippers. He played just 16 minutes. I know today was not the same game he had against the Clippers 2 days ago, but like if those minutes were 31 minutes for Podziemski and 20 minutes or 21 minutes for Kuminga, I feel like there would be such a better balance out there. And then you have Corey Joseph being out there for 15 minutes also. While I don't hate it for Corey Joseph himself, I don't love the 3-guard lineups, but I don't mind Corey Joseph out there. He's a really good defender. He does a lot of things well defensively, as Uncle Alchemy pointed out, the Warriors' GOAT. But he needs to find his shot, of course. It was not that once again he's been hesitant on his shot. That also is something Uncle Alchemy pointed out. And he keeps repeating that with more playing time, he should be able to get more into that shot. But Chris Paul should be coming back literally soon. So is it worth it to really having him out there for these 3-4 games when Chris Paul is injured for 15 minutes? I'm not saying don't have him out there for 10 minutes or some spot minutes for defense, right? But offensively, if he's not able to contribute and he's not going to get the play time when Chris Paul gets back, right? Not sure how that works really. But overall today it did not feel as bad as it did against the Kings. Today we did blow a 22-point lead, as I said. It felt more unlucky, and that the Clippers were actually playing some good basketball in the second half than the Warriors shooting themselves in the foot. They had some really tough shots go out in and out in the third quarter to me. There were some plays that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you the clips for, because the NBA side has been bugging, but where Podziemski stopped Harden and turned it over afterwards, where Draymond was pretty much open under the basket. Moody's put back that led to a Harden 3 on the other side. That was a big momentum shift that was really unlucky, where I was ready to pull the house down here at what was midnight pretty much. So that was just rough. And we also had Podziemski on Harden, who used his elite grifting skills, foul baiting skills on the rookie, and that was also what set up the offense for the Clippers, where Harden was able to create more for himself and others with that. And the pace also shifted towards the Clippers' favor, where we weren't as, I felt we weren't as, the momentum shifted and we weren't able to shift it back to our pace again and punch back really. Clay did punch back at the end of the third quarter, right, where he had that mini flurry at the end of the third quarter and pushed the lead back up to 7 on 10 or 10. But still, it felt like that momentum we had in the first half and that pace we played with just wasn't there in the second half. And the Clippers helped themselves with Norman Powell out there instead of Terrence Mann, who was a bigger threat offensively, which of course helped them. They were more engaged defensively also with their, they have a defensive potential, even though in the first half they literally did not show it at all. And Harden is still a cone out there. He was at least trying today, it felt like. And down the stretch, we just were too slow. Down the stretch, we just were too slow into me. Let's get it back to the positive things though. The first half was great, right? The first half was pretty much perfect. Draymond with the early three ball, where in that first quarter, the three ball has been a weapon for him this season so far. He has been shooting lights out in the first quarter. He hit 4 in the first quarter today. It has not been working afterwards that much, but that first quarter is, setting up the offense is great. And he hit 4 of them in the first quarter, which was sensational. And Steph was also just running the point guard with his pace. He has some turnovers that are dumb in there, of course, but his passing was overall great. His point, his presence, playmaking was out there. We had Clay being patient within the offense, and he had classic Warriors backdoor cuts off of double teams on Steph and Clay, wide open layups, Draymond handoffs, and it looked like Warriors basketball, pace-wise, shooting-wise, and defensively-wise, right? With Moody and Saric out there for Looney, who actually finished around the rim in the first half. Felt like there maybe should have been a little bit more of him. And Saric, while I thought he played really well, he had the lowest amount of plus minus, which is a flawed stat to say the least. Anyway, I talked about the Clay flurry at the end of the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, let's talk about the fourth quarter. We slowed down the pace too much. Steph was the only shot creator. We allowed a lot of straight line drives, especially Steph, and was it anyone else? They attacked Steph a lot, and he was gassed. They were double teaming him at half court, and when he got a shot, I felt like it was over dribbling, over forcing, right? It weren't great shots, even though that last shot, which led to the Paul George game winner, felt a lot like that shot he had over Anthony Davis. It was not the same spot, but a similar spot, and it went in and out really similarly to me, which gave me some troubling memories, to say the least. And at the end of the games, I feel like there has been too much Steph on the ball. Like, he's been over-dribbling. He's been just isoing too much. And before, it was no ball in his hands, and there were just always plays for others. And I feel like there could be a fine mix in there, right? And it has just not been done so far this year. And both teams don't really feel that good. The Warriors don't have that punch back in them, it feels like, after they get punched. And they lack that shot creation, while the Clippers just lack chemistry and some pace, and I don't know, vibe-wise, they're just weird, and all their players are not, of course, in their prime. Paul George is their best player, in my opinion, and Ty Lue has not been coaching as well as, you would think, and that chemistry could come in time, of course. They've played, 10 games together, maybe even less, maybe a little more, I don't know, but it's around 10 games probably at this point, and that's about it. Nothing else to cover, really. And I had this thought where I felt like maybe it's, it's about the better players, right? It's about Clay, Dre, and Steph. They both have not had a really good game together. All have had good games, great games, really good games, but we have seen a great half from them today, and the second half was not great from them, right? Not good, really. And the analogy I like to use, which Nick Wright uses for his Kansas City Chiefs with wide receivers, he expects those Hall of Famers, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid, to be that great enough to help those bad wide receivers, while we do actually have some really good role players, right? And we have some really good players, except for size, which Paul George himself said that they were just... they knew we had no rim protection, and they made it a point to drive and kick out to the shooters. So that's our weakness in there. But how he expects those guys, Mahomes, Kelce, and Reid, to be that great. We have not seen Draymond, Clay, Steph, and kinda Steve Kerr put together a great game or a really good game, which would probably be enough. We have seen good games, but we have not seen really good or great games from all of them, right? All of them together. Maybe it's too much to ask, right? At this stage and age, but I do not know. That was just a thought I had when I was going to sleep after this game at 1 a.m. here in Czech Republic. So let me know your thoughts if you want. If you don't, that's all right. Be kind to yourself and to others as always. Love yourselves as much as possible. Just be.